This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
And here we have a specimen from the early 2000s, a legacy investing platform. Please don't touch the exhibit, folks. It could crash.
Ready to step out of the financial history museum? At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/iHeart.
Head back to the 50s at the Minnesota Street Rod Association event, June 20th through the 22nd at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. Enjoy the classic car marketplace, T6 flyover, the Great Race, Cruise and Art Craft Fair, and so much more. Head over to our contest page for your shot at a pair of tickets. That's KFAN.com, keyword contest to enter.
Couple 13-14 past, Common Man program. So I'm taking my Diet Coke, which you're telling me I shouldn't drink anymore. Should drink water instead. This contains mostly water. I think. Carbonated water. Caramel color. Do you say caramel or caramel?
I'm a caramel guy.
Caramel color. Aspartame. That's what's supposed to be not good, right? That's the artificial sweetener, and it's supposed to not be good for you. And look at Tim. I'm going to set it on the arm of this chair. Look at it. See how nice that is?
It's got disaster written all over it.
It could. It could. I did when I used to put it on the other side of my blind side over here, because I'm always, my chair is sort of tilted to the left or positioned to the left so I can make eye contact with you to see if you're paying attention. And I've had it behind me, and I've turned before and bumped into the chair, and it's wobbled.
That's the thing with the chair. It's not even like you'd have to hit the Coke. You could just hit like the bottom with your foot.
It's just wobbled.
It's going to move the chair.
And I lied. I haven't done it for 15 years. I've done it for about
2 days?
Month and a half. No, about a month and a half now. Because I just came up with the idea. I said, well, this will work.
Maybe we could invest in a little side table or something.
I would like that.
A coffee table.
That wouldn't be a half bad idea. There was one other thing. I know. I got another thing after. I'm always searching for something. I found something else I want to talk about the other side of the break. But for now, let's do 534.
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4. Question number 1.
It's now time to take an in-depth look at the welfare of the wolves.
Durantula.
No, the New York Knicks fired head coach Tom Thibodeau last week, and yesterday, Mike Francesa reported that the Knicks asked for permission to talk to Timberwolves head coach Chris Finch. He reports that they were denied, and then Shams Charania also then reported that, yes, the Knicks requested to talk to Finch, but they also requested permission to speak to Houston Rockets head coach Ime Udoka and Dallas Mavericks head coach Jason Kidd, and they have been denied on all 3. Common, what's your reaction to this? Their courting of Chris Finch.
Well, Finch, I think, is this was his first NBA head coaching job, as far as I know. And how much credit a coach should get? You and I have not necessarily debated it, but we've discussed it. I think we both tend to agree that players might mean a little bit more than coaches, but good coaching is hard to find, and it does make a difference. And it seems as though since he's been here, I don't know what his overall record is, but team has made 2 trips to the Western Conference Finals. It made the semifinals the year before that. So the players seem to like him.
Well, they didn't make the semis.
Didn't they?
They've hit the conference finals 2 years in a row.
But
no, they had always been one and done before that.
I thought we got beat in the semis and then went finals. Maybe you're right. Well, regardless. Boy, details. I'm glad you're here for me. You're a stickler for details, and I you're right. We were trying to be accurate, but I thought they got to the semis and then went finals and then went finals. Conference finals, not NBA.
No, 2023 and 2024, they lost in the first round.
Oh, okay.
So they lost. If you remember, they lost to Denver in 5.
Ah, okay. And then
but that was the one where Denver won the NBA championship, and they said that we were their toughest competition. So we wanted to raise a banner for that.
Okay, that's right.
And then we lost to Memphis.
All right.
Ja Morant and the Grizzlies in 6.
So 2 Western Conference Finals appearances. They seem to like him. I think he knows his X's and O's, so it doesn't surprise me there would be other teams interested. By denying permission, I guess we like him, right? Because what would that say if you could look at that both ways. Let's say you could say, well, we granted them permission because we want what's best for Chris. If Chris wants to go somewhere else, no more power to him. But it could also say well, yeah, we don't care if you take him or not. We really don't think he's that good. So well,
it might be like, technically Tim Connolly did not hire Chris Finch.
Right.
He's probably given him a contract extension again, but that was not his original hire. That was Gerson Rosas, who now has the connection with the New York Knicks. So one, if Connolly just said, hey, I want my own guy, or who's their assistant coach is kind of highly thought of? Is it like
the guy that's
Micah and Nori or something like that?
That's exactly
if you think, hey, this guy can do exactly what Finch did and we can get something in return for Finch, let's make the move. Right? Like, should the Vikings in a long time ago not have just said, hey, let's just we don't need Chili here. Mike Tomlin looks like a great head coach. Let's not lose Mike Tomlin. Let's keep Mike Tomlin here and get rid of Chili.
Or Tony Dungy.
Or Tony Dungy.
Tony Dungy. Or Brian Billick. That happened a lot.
Kevin Stefanski.
There were a number of Viking assistants that went on to be head coaches, and some very successful. So looks like Finch is here to stay.
Question number 2.
All Vikings, let's win this game. You'll hear us yell for more.
It's now time to take an in-depth look at the state of the Skull.
Paul Allen was at Vikings minicamp yesterday in Eagan and tweeted the following, quote, good to be back watching the boys today. Love it out here. And some Vikings who look bigger/stronger included tight end TJ Hawkinson, linebacker Dallas Turner, and cornerback Dwight McLaughlin. Hashtag minicamp covenant. Common, your thoughts?
Who is that? Is that PA?
PA.
Read again what he said.
He was at Vikings minicamp yesterday. He tweeted, good to be back watching the boys today. Love it out here. And some Vikings who look bigger/stronger included tight end TJ Hawkinson, linebacker Dallas Turner, and cornerback Dwight McLaughlin. Hashtag minicamp covenant. Your thoughts?
Look, I love Barney. I love you. You love me. We're an extended family with a great GM. We'll be 13-3. I'm all about positivity. I don't know what else is. PA kind of cheerleader a little bit in them, and maybe they are bigger. I don't know how you tell watching. He looks how much it was. I don't know.
Hopefully the reports are accurate with Dallas Turner specifically, because when he was drafted, he was thought to be like most athletic defensive player on the board, still maybe a little undersized. and that it might take him a little while to develop and build some man muscles. So hopefully I want that one to be the most accurate. I mean, TJ Hawkins is just coming off an injury. I don't know and I don't even know if Dwight McLaughlin is a key player for us. But the Dallas Turner one is the one that I'm paying attention to the most.
I look bigger now than I used to, but that's just because I put on a lot of weight. So I don't know. I don't put a lot of stock into that. We'll see. We'll see when they put the pads on for real. September, whatever week 1 is. I don't know. It's September 7th, 8th, whatever, 4th, whatever. But good to hear from Paul Allen again.
Question number 3.
On Golf Channel today, they are celebrating 25 years since Tiger Woods' historic 2000 season, in which he won 9 times, including the Open, U.S. Open, and PGA Championship. Common, what do you remember most about Tiger's historic 2000 season?
About all you said, and that's really about it. And I know that was also the Tiger Slam, right? Because then the following year he won at Augusta.
Yeah.
So he won 4 consecutive majors. They just weren't in the same calendar year. What year did he beat Rocco? Mediate in the playoff. That wasn't then, was it? That was 2008, I think, when he beat Rocco Mediate.
I was thinking more towards 2000, closer to then.
With the broken leg one. Our guy Rocco used to be a member over Golden Valley. I think he changed clubs now, but I'm not positive about that. He might still be there.
That was the 2008 U.S. Open.
Yeah. Was that at Torrey Pines? Where was that one played?
Yes, Torrey Pines.
I should have just asked Rose, and he would have known. Sorry.
He would have called them Rocco Meditate.
Rocco Meditate. I loved it yesterday when he said, well, then Dave Hill ran away with the PGA champ or the U.S. Open at he said, well, no, he didn't. Tony Jacklin won. And then he said, oh, yeah, that's right. I interviewed him. Okay. Anyway, that's all I really remember other than nobody had ever seen anything like it, right? Nobody, and I don't know if we ever will. I mean, the Scheffler comparisons to Woods, when they were, this has been going on for pretty near a year now, even before he won the PGA Championship, right? And I was kind of rolling my eyes, shrugging my shoulders, and shaking my head and saying, yeah, I know he's really good, but to compare him to the dominance of Woods with the 15 majors and he has 80-something, 81, 82 PGA Tour wins, let's not get carried away. I know we like to hype guys up. Like we've got Ant as one of the, we're already starting to compare him to the LeBrons and the Kobes and the Jordans, and it's like, maybe. I mean, there's similarities as far as he's a dynamic player and he scores a lot of points. But let's start winning titles first, and before we start making those comparisons. And I thought the Scheffler comparison to Woods were a little premature, but he comes to dominate, and he does, and he's winning at a rate that's. I think you and I discussed this a week or so ago when. After the PGA Championship, a couple weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, right? However long it was, I don't remember exactly when the PGA, early May, and Chambly on Golf Channel was what am I trying to say when you put the numbers out, like if he on the averages, if he continues at this pace,
sure,
not prorate, but what's the word I'm looking for? Extrapolate.
Yeah,
if you extrapolate. He's going to win 7 majors and like 45 or, something like that, 45, 46, 47 tour events. Then your Tiger Woods comparisons aren't as strained, but still to get to 15, I guess the dominance of one player, because everybody seems to say, and it's hard to argue that when he has his best game going, there is nobody better. It's hard for anybody to really play with him. So, but yeah, all I remember was I'd never seen anything like Tiger Woods, and I don't know if we ever will. We'll pause. When we return, I did some insiding about the Wild. And also I got another question for 10 and B. We'll take It's from a highlight I saw on TV, and I want to ask Genevieve about highlights and big plays and such like that. We'll pause and return after this here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
And that's it for today's edition of 5 Questions. Well, actually 3 questions, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
And here we have a specimen from the early 2000s, a legacy investing platform. Please don't touch the exhibit, folks. It could crash.
Ready to step out of the financial history museum? At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
Unlock smarter learning with Lenovo AI-powered PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Head to Lenovo.com and choose from multiple devices to fit your passions. If you're a gamer, you can spend less time stressing about GPUs and CPUs and more time dominating with your AI-enabled Smart Engine, which optimizes your game performance in real time. Or maybe you're a scientist on the verge of a groundbreaking discovery and need a device with a longer battery life and AI-enhanced tools to give you extra time to finish your research. Or you're a musician preparing for your biggest break and need better, faster AI tools to make digital art a breeze, like creating band posters and t-shirt designs. Or you're a soon-to-be graduate needing to catch a recruiter's eye to land that dream job, so you need cutting-edge smart tools to build your portfolio from scratch. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. Plus, college students and teachers get 5% off with an education account on Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/iHeart.
So you want to start a business. You might think you need a team of people and fancy tech skills, but you don't. You just need GoDaddy Aero. I'm Walton Goggins, and as an actor, I'm an expert in looking like I know what I'm doing, even when I don't. And I like the sound of starting my own business, Walton Goggins Goggle Glasses. But I'm an actor. I don't know what I'm doing. I needed help. GoDaddy Aero uses AI to create everything you need to grow a business. It'll make you a unique logo. It'll create a custom website. It'll write social posts for you and even set you up with a social media calendar. I didn't even realize I needed a social media calendar. GoDaddy Aero will take your idea that sounds good and make a business that looks like you know what you're doing. GoDaddy Aero can get your business up and running in minutes. You know what that sounds like? It sounds like a plan. Get started at GoDaddy.com/Aero. That's GoDaddy.com/AIRO.
This Father's Day, score big with the Minnesota Wild. Get 2 weekday game tickets and a 3-piece Wild grill set. Perfect for the ultimate hockey dad. Offer ends June 15th. Get all the details and enter for your chance to win this amazing Father's Day gift at KFAN.com. Keyword contest.
Couple 13-14 past Common Man program. Text messages are accepted, courtesy of the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line, 64686. This one came in during our last segment. Says, if the Knickerbockers wanted to interview... Whoops, just received another text message. If the Knickerbockers wanted to interview a Wolves assistant coach for their head coach vacancy, the Wolves would say, okay, not for a head coach. One would be a lateral move. Would Wolves to Knickerbockers be a lateral move? If you had a choice, would you rather coach the Minnesota Timberwolves as they are constituted right now as we speak, or would you rather be the head coach of the New York Knickerbockers? I don't know if they're necessarily a lateral move.
I think the reason you'd want to make the move is I'm guessing the New York Knicks are going to pay you more than the Minnesota Timberwolves pay you. That would be the motivation for wanting to do. Otherwise, Unless you're just a big city, New York City type of guy and just would rather live there.
But, I mean, you don't think that the Knickerbockers overall have a better roster than the Wolves? Do you think the Wolves have a better roster
I'd rather have the Wolves roster moving forward. Well, just Anthony Edwards alone, I'd rather have him to build around over the next 8 years than Jalen Brunson or Big Meow. Or I should say Bodega Cat. I apologize.
You think you can coach up Anthony Edwards' basketball IQ? Because I think it's lacking a little bit myself.
I mean, I had Dane Moore on the Tennis Fitzgerald on Monday. He said he's made big-time strides in that regard in the last 2 years. Okay. Now, he's still not exactly where he needs to be, but that he's worked on it and he's improved in it. Maybe with Finch's help.
I'm not as, I guess, as overjoyed and overwhelmed with Anthony Edwards as a lot of other people. I know he's a terrific player, but we talked about this, I think it was last segment or earlier in the show, about I think these comparisons to Kobe and LeBron and Jordan they strain credulity a little bit. Let's give it a little bit more time. But what was my question for you?
Something Wild related.
Oh, thank you. 2 names to keep an eye on, Tenevie.
Cap.
Dylan Larkin.
Yeah.
And Brock Boeser.
Yeah. Both? Could we get both?
I don't know if we can get both, but I would. I've been talking to some people, reading some things. I think those could. Again, nothing's set in stone, and I've not talked to Billy Guerin or Craig Leopold or John Hines. Those are not my connections. But I'm hearing the Wild definitely have interest in both those players, and maybe other teams do as well. But those are 2 players that I think you just might just kind of tuck that away and back in your mind.
Are you reporting?
I'm reporting.
Is the framework of a deal?
I'm not saying a framework of a deal, but I'm just saying don't be surprised if they're in one or the other, or maybe both are in the green and wheat.
Brock Boeser.
One of us, right?
He's one of us. He's from Burnsville. Has been playing for the Vancouver Canucks. Pure goal scorer, right-hand shot, which basically in the existence of the Minnesota Wild, we've not had like a quality right shot on the power play. It'd be nice to have one of those, so we're not always just playing with 5 left-handers on the ice, which seems to be what we do all the time. And he'd be a top 6. He'd be a winger on your top 2 lines. We already mentioned the Minnesota connection. I think he would want to play here. So, yeah, I definitely think, especially with Brock Nelson now gone, even though, one's a center, one's a winger, I think those were 2 targets that the Wild had in mind. So I could definitely see Brock Boeser here. Now, that doesn't fill the center void, which I know Bill Guerin wants to address, and that's why the Dylan Larkin name is intriguing. Now, Boeser is a free agent. Larkin is still under contract. I'd have to look at what his exact contract details are because I'm not familiar with how many more years he has left or how much he's making. But just from a pure player standpoint, I love him. I like him. I mean, we saw him in the Four Nations face-off. Bill Guerin put him on the roster, and he was basically kind of like playing a bottom 6, 4th line role on that team. But was one of their better players. He played great. Especially those last couple games, the championship against Canada. He can kill penalties for you. He's a smart 2-way player. He can score some goals. Isn't afraid to get to the tough areas. If Bill Guerin somehow figured out to get Larkin, you're going to have to. That's a trade. I'm guessing Marco Rossi's a part of that. But if we ended up with Boeser and Larkin, and you still got Boldy and Kaprizov and Eriksson Ek and Zuccarello. And now your third line is, Foligno and Ryan Hartman. See what the Yurov kid can bring you from Russia. Now, I like where we're going.
Can you say Skatriots?
Well, they might be a contender for the next 4 or 5 years.
All right, let me ask you another question. If you could have one or the other and only one or the other, would you rather have Larkin or Boeser? I know they're different positions. You explained it very well. But if you could only have one, who do you think you'd like to have?
Well, that all depends on how much you're going to have to give up for Dylan Larkin.
Okay.
I would rather have Dylan Larkin just because of the need at the center position.
Then how about this question now?
But you're going to have to give up something for him. Significant. Whereas Boeser, you're just paying.
Would you rather have Larkin or Durantula? I know Durantula doesn't play hockey, but I'm saying, would you rather have Durantula to the Wolves? Do you think that makes the Wolves so much better that... Well, first of all, let's backtrack just for a second. Let's rewind.
Yeah.
First question would be, do you like parades?
I do.
Okay, which player do you think gives the respective teams a better chance at a parade? Would it be Larkin with the Wild or Durantula with the Wolves?
I like Larkin, but in basketball, one person can have such a greater impact on a team's success than in hockey. So I would think now Durantula's up there in age. Larkin's not a spring chicken anymore.
He's 28,
either. Yeah.
Isn't he?
Yeah. Is that what he is?
I think he's 28, something like that.
Yeah, I didn't think he was too old, but
I think he's
been around a while.
Something like July 30th, 1996. He was 29th, 30th, 31st of July, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, you still have some quality years out of him. I'd be very intrigued by Larkin. I'm still Tage Thompson guy. I don't know what his availability is from Buffalo, but he's also the difference between him and Larkin. He's a right shot. He's huge, and probably a little bit more of a pure goal scorer than Dylan Larkin is. Larkin's going to do some more little things for you than Tage is going to do.
Very good. I have just keep an eye on those two names. I also had another, not necessarily a controversial question, one of those fun sports kind of question, but I'll save that. We'll tuck that away and save it for rainy day. It may rain after 2:00, so we'll maybe do it then. But we'll take a break. We'll come back.
If 2 months from now, Brock Boeser and Dylan Larkin are on the roster, I'm excited about next year's Wild team.
Well, Rosen might even make his way to St. Paul once or twice. Oh, wait, let's not go that far. Yeah, let's not get carried away. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Brian Oak joins us next for Rock Talk about the deaths of two rock and roll icons, Sly Stone of Sly and the Family Stone, and today, Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys passed away. We'll talk about both of those artists when we return with Rock Talk and Brian Oak here on The Fan.
And here we have a specimen from the early 2000s, a legacy investing platform. Please don't touch the exhibit, folks. It could crash.
Ready to step out of the financial history museum? At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
Want to feel more creative but don't have the right laptop? Lenovo.com can help. Look through our legendary lineup of AI-powered PCs and devices and find the one that fits your passion. Our PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, as well as cutting-edge AI tools, allow students to focus, learn, and create with ease. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. Plus, college students and teachers can get 5% off their order. Shop now on Lenovo.com. The future's waiting, and it needs you.
You know, some people say that Odoo business management software is like fertilizer, the way it promotes growth and all. But other people say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. And there's some people who would even say Odoo's individual software programs come together to build the perfect suite like building blocks. Well, Odoo is all of these things. Fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. So sign up now at odoo.com. ODOO.com.
I'm Rodney Williams.
And I'm Travis Holloway. Welcome to the Wealth Break Podcast, a real conversation about finance.
Let's be honest. Building wealth doesn't look the same for everyone.
I feel like sometimes being broke is a cycle and that we might have to revisit that.
And we're not stopping at success stories.
What happens when it doesn't go right? How do you cope with it?
Because wealth isn't just about money. It's about creating a life where you thrive and help others do the same.
Listen to the Wealth Break Podcast on the iHeartRadio app,